Hello and namaste to all the Salesforce Trailblazers. Welcome to a brand new talk show, Dev Talkies for our community, and I'm your host Nagakiran from Untitled Developer Relations. Wow, what an year 2020 has been. It's not been easy for us, but this pandemic has made us more stronger, and it also reiterated the importance of people and relations. 2021, a fresh start and a new beginning, and I'm pretty sure this year is going to be great for each one of us. When I look 6 years back and where we are right now, what a journey it's been for all of us. I mean, you're all trailblazers in true sense. You have achieved great things and are also leaving a mark for others to do the same. This show is a tribute to each one of you, where we learn, connect, have fun, and most importantly, celebrate our developers and trailblazers' success. So wondering what's in store for us today? We will start off with our first segment, What's in the News, where Satya is going to take us through the latest in the Salesforce developers world. In the guest spotlight segment, we're going to interview a couple of our very special speakers. And throughout the show, there will be some very interesting technical tips and tricks shared by our developer advocates. And not only that, we have a very cool game show that Aditya has planned for us to wrap it all up. So let's invite Satya without further delay.
Hello, namaste and welcome. In this developer news, we'll bring you the latest updates of the Salesforce platform. Anything related to Lightning Web Components, Apex, release notes, tools, and much more. We'll see what's happening and what's coming up for the Salesforce developers. We'll catch up with the latest events, sessions, webinars, and also all the awesome work done by the community and the trailblazers. If we miss anything in this news, we'll try to cover during the end of the news in a quick round of news items. In this episode, I'll bring you some of the coolest developer news during the winter time. Did I say winter? Winter is almost gone. It's springtime. Did you guess what I'm talking about? Yes. If so, you're right. Spring 21 release is approaching. We already have pre-release orgs for us to try. The sandboxes are refreshed. Release notes is available. And not only that, we have some Trailhead modules and a nice collection of demo videos with which you can keep yourself updated with the latest highlights. If you're still wondering how to approach to the release, then we have a simple plan with 5 easy steps. Visit salesforce.com/releases. You can check various products and new features in this release. You can watch short demos in our Salesforce Releases channel on YouTube. We have created a playlist of Spring 21 demo videos for you. Trailhead is a fun way of learning. Take the Spring 21 release highlights trail on Trailhead. It covers highlights from each of the clouds and the platform. Dive into the details with release notes. You can now directly access the release notes from help.salesforce.com, and all the elements of the release notes are quickly accessible with easy navigation. Join the Release Readiness Trailblazers community group for the release updates. Also join the Release Readiness Live that happens between 29th January and 5th February. Also, don't forget to check the blog posts. Salesforce has launched a new dedicated website for architects, and now it is available in beta. Architects website is a kind of one-stop shop for the architects. You can find a plethora of information under 4 broad headings: design, deliver, govern, and roadmap. Under design, you can find architect decision guides, reference architectures with diagrams, design patterns, and much more. If you click Read Me on any of these tiles, you can see a descriptive guide with illustrations. Under Deliver, you can find release calendars for Salesforce platform, MuleSoft, etc. You can also find release management resources like development standards, delivery management blueprints, etc. You can find data governance resources and operating models under Govern. You can look into Salesforce roadmap and also build your own roadmap. This site also has links to external resources like the Trailblazer community. Now, let's see some event news. DreamTX. The Dreamforce Trailblazer experience was more exciting than expected. The year 2020 that was hit badly by the pandemic has ended with this great session. It was a 4-day session with 140 episodes and 309 hours of content. The keynote was amazing and it is officially the biggest Twitter broadcast of all time with a record of 120 million viewers. Here are a few highlights from Dreamforce to You 2020 for you.
Welcome to Dreamforce 2020. Welcome to San Francisco. I'm Mark Benioff, the Chairman and CEO of Salesforce, and I am coming to you live.
This is already live. It's live in India, it's live in Germany, and we're rolling out in 10 countries next year.
And today, I am excited to introduce to you Einstein Automate with the expert himself.
I'm Jillian Bruce, and I am here today to be your guide. Welcome to the Trailblazer Lounge for DreamTX.
Golden hoodie.
Thank you for all that you do. So today, we're going to show you how you can go digital fast.
Now, how did we do that?
And scale with confidence and empower everyone.
Start drawing your artifact.
Einstein Automate, your one-stop shop to build end-to-end workflows for every industry.
These two options are not exclusive. They add up to deliver the best value.
Dreamforce 2020 was an amazing event. If you have missed this event, then you should definitely go back and watch the videos. The videos are now available online. Thanks to the incredible community and the trailblazers who make our platform so awesome. Today, in our community focus, we want to bring you two initiatives that have been very instrumental to level up the trailblazers during the pandemic time. Salesforcedaily.in is a website where you can find daily tips. Thanks to Parth, Akash, Preetham and Vipul for this initiative. And special thanks to all the contributors who are consistently posting these tips. If you haven't visited this site, make sure to check it. Each tip is posted with the name, Twitter handle and headshot of the contributor. If you have a tip, you can also submit that through the Google form. You can also filter the tips based on a category like data loader or integration. The other highly impressive initiative is #Impact Salesforce Saturday, run by the New Delhi Salesforce Developer Group, led by Sushant and his team. They have extended selfless service supported by 65 plus awesome volunteers. They have conducted more than 60 sessions in the year 2020. More than 4,500 participants joined the sessions and benefited out of it. Let's see what some of the participants have to say about it.
I completely thank New Delhi SFDC DUG for conducting such a wonderful sessions.
They have been really helpful for all the trailblazers in the community.
Working as a Salesforce student intern at Bugendai Tech Pune, it has helped us to build our career in right way.
The Lightning Web Component series, which is given by the Sakti, has helped a lot to me in improving LWC skill sets, which results me to a new job this week.
Thanks to #Impact Salesforce Saturday team for running such an awesome program and helping so many trailblazers to level up their careers. This month, Journey to Salesforce team has conducted mock interviews for the aspirants. It is also doing a workshop to encourage aspirants to work on super badges with confidence. Thanks to all the speakers and trailblazers from the community who are making this program so successful. Hats off to all the trailblazers for their dedication of time and effort. Now it's time for quick news. The Lightning based components are now available as NPM package. You can install it in your project by running npm install. It includes the base Lightning components that can run outside the Salesforce platform. These components are included along with any utilities and libraries that they require. Salesforce Developer podcasts are now available as YouTube playlist. You can find those on Salesforce Developers channel. Trailhead Live turned a year old in December. Most of you might already know that Trailhead Live is a platform where you can watch live and on-demand sessions from the experts. That's all in the news today. See you in the next episode. Thanks to all of you.
My first guest in the Speaker Spotlight segment today is somebody who had to walk 8 kilometers every day during her childhood to get a basic education. She was born in a remote village in Kerala to a humble family who believed in empowering daughters as much as their sons. She's a Salesforce architect now, mother of 2 kids, and a rock star who's giving it back to the community in various different ways. Let me welcome Meera Nair to the show today. Meera Nair, namaste.
Namaste, Kiran, and I'm doing really great. And thank you for having me here today, Kiran.
It's our pleasure to have you on the show. It's a privilege for us.
Thank you.
Such an inspirational journey. You've been with Salesforce for the last 10 years. How has the journey been for you, Meera?
It has been really great, Kiran. If it was not Salesforce, I'm not sure if I can be in the IT industry for so long. 14 years of IT experience, in which 12 has been on the Salesforce platform itself. Basically, Salesforce helped me to keep a proper work-life balance, especially when my kids were small. Because when you have small kids, it's not practically possible for you to continuously work from office for a long time.
Absolutely.
I know many of my and I know many of my friends who had to resign from their work because of this.
Right.
But luckily, since I was in Salesforce, I was able to do work from home, where I was able to manage my kids, manage my family, manage my work. Along with that, I was also able to find out some time for my personal hobbies also.
Okay. Like that hobby?
I love classical dance, and I was a classical dance student before my marriage. So after having my second kids, I restarted my classical dance classes also.
That's really good to know, Meera. Salesforce giving time for other things to do in life. That's right. That's a very powerful statement. Meera, talking about your family, I've been connected to you for the last couple of weeks. Came to know about you, your journey. Such an inspiration. You have a wonderful family, right? You have a husband and a couple of sons. During that conversation of ours, you mentioned something about what happened when you and your husband met for the first time before marriage. In India, there's this tradition of the girl meeting the boy in their home, along with all the relatives around.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not an easy thing to do. What was the first question he asked?
Yeah, so he came to see me along with his family members. And my house was also full with my relatives.
Right.
So there was not much privacy for us to chat alone.
I know. So they don't give you privacy, by the way.
And so when we started to speak, right, that was the first time he was hearing about Salesforce. Okay. So the only question he asked me was how exception handling is working in Salesforce.
Oh my God.
I was like, I don't know. I was thinking like if I should marry this person or not, because that was like a technical interview for me.
Your husband's name is Ayyappa, right?
Yes.
Why Ayyappa? Why did you do this?
Because of that, he wanted to have a private chat on the next day. We had that, and finally everything got resolved.
Thank God. So conflicts resolved.
Yes.
Awesome. Now, which brings me to my next question.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get into the community? How did you start contributing? What triggered, to get into the ecosystem?
Okay. So, 2018 was when I attended my first Dreamforce. So, that time it was as a participant, and all the sessions happened there actually really inspired me. Till that time, I was doing sessions internally in my company. So I thought it will be good for me to get started sharing my knowledge to outside community also. But I was not sure how to get started. So that time, I saw a call for speakers in LinkedIn for a virtual event called Virtual Dreaming. So I submitted a paper. It got actually approved. And that's how everything got started.
Awesome. That's really good to know. So you started giving it back. So did the community give it back to you when you needed it?
Yes, Kiran, of course. Like I said, even for my first session, I received lots of positive feedback. Along with positive feedback, I got even suggestions on how I can improve on my presentation style or on my content, the technical aspect. So that helped me to improve a lot. Like my confidence level got improved, my technical skills got improved, my presentation style got improved, everything got improved because of that. And along with that, I started to lead Trivandrum Salesforce community, Salesforce Developer User Group actually. And I slowly joined a team called SIMA, which is Salesforce Architects in the Making. So all of this helped me to improve a lot. So what I feel is we trailblazers are not complete without each other.
You made a very powerful statement. We complete each other. We trailblazers complete each other. That's
right,
really good to know, Meera. Awesome. You're such an inspiration in the community with all the things that you're doing recently. What are your plans for the future?
Okay, like I mentioned, 2018, I attended my Dreamforce, but that time as a participant. So one of my biggest dream is to attend one more Dreamforce, but as a speaker.
Wow. Okay.
And also, I would like to get started with my CTA journey. Like I would like to be a CTA, Salesforce Certified Technical Architect in the near future.
I'm pretty sure you're going to chase those dreams and make them yours. I'm 100% sure about it. And as I said earlier,
thank you.
You are inspiring a lot of people around you with the things that you're doing for the community. It's not an easy thing to do with all the commitments you have in your life. Great job, Meera. And
thank you, Kiran.
You're most welcome. We'll not let you go like this. Before we end the interview, we'll have this lightning round where we're going to pose you 5 questions. You have to be really quick. Your answers should be one line. And this is
okay.
This is a test of agility. Are you ready?
Oh, yes, but this is a surprise for me.
I know. If we wanted to give it a surprise.
Okay.
Okay. So, what is that one thing that annoys Meera the most?
Kids fight.
Kids fight? Thank God you didn't tell husbands. Okay. What is the strangest thing that you have ever eaten?
It's like a combination of fried rice along with fried fish.
Okay. So
fried
rice with fish.
Yeah.
Okay. Where would you go if you were invisible? Imagine people are not able to see you.
I would like to go for a night ride.
Night ride, huh?
Yeah, that is not something feasible in India at this moment, I think. Yeah. Okay. Going alone, actually.
Going alone. Cool. What is the lowest grade you have ever been given and what class was it?
Okay, so when I was in 2nd standard, right, I just got 3 marks for maths out of
2nd standard? You remember things very clearly, Meera. Cool. What is that one food you wouldn't want to give up on?
I like jackfruit very much. So any form, if I'm getting jackfruit, I would like to have it.
In fact, jackfruit is even my favorite fruit. It's really cool. It's really nice. Yeah.
Good to hear. Yeah.
Awesome. It was great chatting with you. Before we leave, what is the tip that Meera can give to our Salesforce developers today? What is that one tip?
Okay, so I was working for some large organizations, right? Okay. So when we are working for some large organizations, we need to be very careful on the limits, governor limits put by Salesforce. So what I feel is, especially when we are working on Apex code and all, before any of the statement, it is always good to check if you are reaching your limit or not using the limits class. And if some exceptions are happening or if you are reaching the limit, it's always good to log the exception details using some exception handling mechanism.
That is such a useful tip. Thank you, Meera. It's been a pleasure chatting with you today. You're such an inspiration to all of us. All the very best for your future.
Thank you so much, Kiran. And I also really enjoyed this chat. Thank you for having me.
It's time for a tip. We can create our own command for any CLI command and execute it from the command palette of the Visual Studio Code. For example, there is no sfdx command for listing the orgs. The only way is to use the sfdx force org list command from the CLI. In this session, we'll see how we can create a task to run this command from the command palette. Here we are in our project in the Visual Studio Code. Let's first check for the sfdx commands. We don't have any command to list the orgs, so let's create one using VS Code tasks. In the command palette, enter task and select configure task. Here you can see some predefined tasks created for ESLint and npm. For instance, you can run npm install from the command palette instead of a terminal. Let's scroll down and you can see a command to create task.json file. For the very first time, we can create this file and later we can add the task to the same file. We can select a predefined template for our task. Let's select MS Build. Now let's fill the template to create our command. Let's give a label for our command. Let's say list orgs. Keep it as a shell command and give the command name as sfdx. Now give the args as force org list. Let's keep the group as build so that you can use Command-Shift-B for Mac or Ctrl-Shift-B for Windows to launch the command as we go forward. We want to see the output in the terminal, so let's give always for reveal. As we want to see the error in the problem window, we can give ESLint output. Let's now save it. Now let's run the command from the command palette. Select task, run task. Now you can see our command list orgs here. Let's select that. You can see the output in the terminal. You can also directly invoke this command using Command-Shift-B on Mac or Ctrl-Shift-B on Windows. You would have also noticed that VS Code IntelliSense works like a heaven. Was that a cool tip? Please let us know.
Great leaders inspire action. I mean, they transfer belief and energy to their people to achieve their vision. The second person that I'm going to interview today exactly does that. Once a seasoned developer evangelist, now leading the globe's best developer relations team. Please welcome Christophe Conriotz, Vice President, Salesforce Developer Relations. Hi Christophe, how are you?
Hi Kiran, nice to be here today. I'm doing well, how are you?
I'm great. So Christophe, our audience would really like to know where did you come from and a little about your childhood.
All right. Well, I was born and raised in Brussels, Belgium. And then, I was working in a different software company, an American software company over there in Belgium.
Okay.
And I was working with, American teammates. And one day, totally out of the blue, they asked me, hey, we have that position here in Boston. Would you like to take it?
Okay.
And I think I thought about it for about half a minute and I said, sure, let's do it.
Wow.
And, I really thought, this would be like a 1 year or a 2 year experience. Hopefully I would, improve my English a little bit, and it would just be an amazing experience. But now, it's 20 years later. I'm still in Boston. I have a wife and 2 kids, 16 and 14. So, it doesn't always go as planned.
It's a life-changing move. Okay.
That's right. Totally.
Awesome. So Christophe, tell me this. You've been an evangelist for the most part of your career and taken up a leadership role in the recent years. How has the journey been for you? Is it safe to call it a paradigm shift?
Yeah, so, well, actually, when I moved to the US, I actually managed a small team of evangelists already at the time. Okay. But then, for many years after that, I kind of stayed away from management. But, 2 years ago, actually, I had the opportunity to, lead this amazing developer relations team. And I thought, it was the right challenge, at the time. And I'm super excited that I went for the challenge. So is it a paradigm shift? It is a big change, right? Because even, as an individual contributor, you always want to be a good teammate and to kind of win as a team.
Right.
But when you lead the team, you basically have no choice, right? Your success is the team's success. The team's success is your success.
Absolutely.
And I think what was also a big change for me, and a kind of a humbling change, is that all of a sudden you realize that somehow you became responsible for a big team, and you are responsible for their career, their development, their well-being. And that's pretty humbling, and that's very different from being an individual contributor. And at the end of the day, you're responsible for the success of the team, and that's the key thing, because without the success of the team, then it's hard, for these teammates or members of your team to be successful in their career and to offer them that development and these career opportunities. So it is a huge paradigm shift. It is very humbling, but it's also very exciting when you see that you can really influence the direction of the team and really offer amazing opportunities to the members of the team.
Let me tell you, you're a great influencer, Christophe. Just wanted to put that out.
Well, thank you.
So my next question is, as a leader, you've been in situations where tough decisions need to be taken for the business. How does that, person in you deal with the leader? Do you have conflicts?
Yeah. Of course, you always have conflicts, right? That is part of the deal. But I think, and at Salesforce, as you know, we put a lot of focus on values, and I really think that's where values are important, because these values really kind of help you, especially in difficult or challenging times. So to me, that's really super important, is to know what my values are, what the company values are, and to let these values, to really go back to these values when there is a conflict, when there is a challenge, right? And, to me, leadership, part of leadership is also, being transparent, kind of, tell it like it is, right? And so, that is also, that is one of the values. It's basically trust, because I think it's the foundation for respect between you and everybody, else on the team. And once you tell it like it is, then I think it's really the good foundation to start showing, the other side, and really help the employee in difficult situations and show that, empathy, and really help your, employees navigate through difficult times.
Absolutely, Christophe. I agree with you. And talking about people, you've worked with developer communities in the last 20 years. And, how do you think communities have evolved? And how do you envision them in the next decade, Christophe?
Well, I don't want to show my age, but when I started in the business, communities pretty much, developer communities pretty much didn't exist, right? Evangelism at the time was kind of us going around the country or around the world, delivering a few big events, every year. That was basically it, right? And so, I think that people came to these events to kind of learn from us. We were kind of the source of truth, and you had, the engineers of the company delivering the message and, delivering the best practices and all that good stuff. And I think the shift, with, developer user groups and then online communities is that, they're still learning from us a little bit, but I really think that the big shift is that they are learning from each other, and I think that has been an amazing change. And it's not only about learning about the latest best practices or about the latest feature of a specific product. I think what communities enable as well is learning from each other in terms of success stories, in terms of, career transformation that maybe, they never thought was possible if they hadn't seen someone else in that same community, do it before them and be the inspiration. And in that way, I think, communities are a great equalizer because it allows people to see in other people what they could become. And I think I really expect to see, more of that where, it's really shifting from, a specific vendor, delivering all these, best practices and learning opportunities to, communities kind of doing it themselves. Because the reality is that, sometimes we live in a bubble, right? We think we know the software that we build really well, but the reality is that we don't always have the hands-on experience of using, the product in specific situations, which again, members of the community can provide. So, kind of my vision is that I'm expecting to see more of that, like, the power to the community being more, powerful, being more inspiring for other people. And then I think that our role as a vendor has really changed from being the source of truth to really enabling these communities. And I think that, at Salesforce, that's what we do really well. So, I expect to see more of that. And then the one last thing that I would mention is that, obviously we are all going through really difficult times right now with the pandemic and all that, but hopefully there is a little bit of good that we saw coming out of that as well in the community. I mean, we have seen incredible things done, by our community. And for example, one thing that I've seen is that communities, that used to be very local, right? They were, local to a city or to a country. All of a sudden, because everything is going virtual, they extended their reach and they extended their scope. And so, obviously these virtual communities, I think, are here to stay. And so I expect to see a lot more of that.
Absolutely, Christophe, you make a very important point. In fact, one of the speakers that I was interviewing today very beautifully put it in one line that we trailblazers, we complete each other, right? She told, okay, I'm incomplete without my fellow trailblazers, because she's giving it back and taking it as well. So that's a very important point that you made today. Christophe, it's been a pleasure talking to you. It's a privilege to have you on our show, our first talk show. These are some very important leadership lessons if anybody is aspiring to be a leader in the future. Great to have you on the show. Hope to have you sometime, again another day.
Looking forward to it, Kiran. It was great to be here. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Christophe. Okay then, we will move on to the next segment. Aditya says it's a surprise, but there is no prize. He has planned a cool game show along with Christophe and Meera, who are the speaker guests today. Let's give it over to Aditya.
Welcome to the game show segment. I'm your host Aditya, and today's contestants are Meera and Christophe. Today's game is going to have 3 rounds. and each round is going to have different rules. And the player with the most number of points at the end of all the 3 rounds is going to win the game. So let's get started. Ready, Christophe and Meera?
Ready?
Yes.
Yep, so round 1 is what I call compete. So in this round, I'm going to show you a Twitter bio on screen. And based on the Twitter bio and number of followers, you're supposed to guess whose profile that is. And I've given you buzzers. So hit the buzzer if you think you know the answer. The person to hit the buzzer first is going to get a chance to answer the question. If you answer it incorrectly, the second person is going to get a chance to answer. So whoever answers the question correctly is going to get 10 points per profile.
Okay.
Let's now start the game. I'll use my Trailblazer community pen to take a note of your points. And the first bio on screen right now. What's happening with 58.8 million followers? Okay, so born on March 21st, following my 29 profiles. Last 5 seconds to hit the buzzer.
I guess I need to spend more time on Twitter.
Yep, you need to. Because the answer is going to be different. Okay, last 2 seconds. I'm going to give you some time because this is the first question. You want to hit the buzzers. No answers for this. Okay, and time's up. The answer is actually quite simple and tricky as well. This Twitter profile belongs to Twitter itself. With 58.8 million followers. They are everywhere in all of your phones. So yeah, you need to spend more time on Twitter and look at Twitter's profile more often. So yeah, that's the first question. The next questions are not going to be as tricky. So moving on to the second profile. At Salesforce, at time, all tweets are my own. Christophe has buzzed first, Meera follows. So Christophe, whose profile do you think it is?
I'm gonna say that's Mark Benioff.
Perfect, that's the right answer. It is Mark Benioff, 1 million followers, Salesforce and time. Those should be sufficient to reveal who it is. And look at the growth of Salesforce on his cover picture. The growth is not even being sufficient in the picture, right? So, yep, so that's Benioff. Moving on to the third profile. Free customizable AppExchange apps and components to get you started faster and built by Salesforce employees. So whose profile do you think it is? Again, it's Christophe followed by Meera. So Christophe, whose profile do you think it is?
I'm just gonna say it's the AppExchange profile.
Okay, it's very, very close, but no. Meera, what do you think it is?
Okay, I was also thinking AppExchange, but if not AppExchange, seeing the description is that Salesforce Labs.
Yep, Meera, you got it. It is Salesforce Labs. I mean, this was a tricky profile that I was talking to you about earlier. Salesforce Labs is one of the many companies on AppExchange that gives you free apps. I mean, it's where Salesforce employees host all the apps that they build. So download and use, all of them are free totally, so you don't have to worry about license costs. And that is Salesforce Labs. Moving on to the next profile.
Oh, Aditya, you need to reset the buzzer, I think.
Yeah, resetting the buzzers and moving on to the next profile. Sharing things I'm learning through my foundation work and other interests. I'm going to give you a hint. It's not a Salesforce thing. The Twitter doesn't belong to Salesforce. Okay, so Christophe has buzzed again.
I'm gonna say Bill Gates.
Perfect. So Christophe, you are actually spending a lot of time on Twitter in that case. It is actually Bill Gates. He does a lot of work through his foundation, 53.1 million followers. He's one of the top 20 profiles on Twitter. So that is one. I'm going to clear the buzzers now. And moving on to the next Twitter profile. experience life in Uganda, India, Belgium. Okay. Meera is the first one to answer even without finishing the bio. So Meera, who do you think it is?
Yeah, the first sentence itself is very familiar. It's none other than Kavindra Patel.
Perfect. So it is Kavindra Patel, and he is the father of India Trailblazers with around 7,500 followers. So cool. So both of you have answered 2 questions each, giving you 20 and 20 points. It's a tie. You haven't answered the first question. So moving on to the final and the tie-breaking question. And I've cleared your buzzers. And whose profile is this? Christophe, you're the first one to buzz. Who do you think it is?
I think that's a tricky one, and I think that's you.
Yeah, that's me. It is my Twitter profile. And thank you for recognizing it so soon. And yeah, that wraps up the first round. So Christophe is leading with 30 points. And Meera is very closely following with 20 points. And that is the end of round 1. Now let's move on to round 2, which is what I call the challenge round. So there are no buzzers in this round, so you can close the buzzer tab. So in this round, I'm going to ask one of you a question, the answer to which is going to be a number. And the other person can either raise the stakes by increasing the number or call their bluff by challenging the contestant. So I'll give you an example. So let's say I ask Meera how many fruits can she name in 10 seconds. And Meera is going to say, let's say 7. Then I'm going to come to Christophe and ask, can you name more than 7 fruits, like 8 or 9 or 10? Or do you want to challenge Meera? Then maybe Christophe says he can name 8 fruits. Then I'm going to come back to Meera and ask if she can name more than 8 or challenge. So that process repeats until one participant wants to challenge the other. And once a participant challenges the other, so let's say Meera challenges Christophe to name all the 8 fruits. And if Christophe is able to successfully name all the 8 fruits, he wins the challenge and gets 20 points. If he's not able to answer all 8, he's going to lose the challenge and Meera is going to get 20 points. So that's how this round works. It's a little tricky to understand, but when you're playing, you'll get the hang of it. So the first question is to you, Meera. How many standard objects can you name in 10 seconds?
10.
Okay, so Christophe, can you name more than 10 or do you want to challenge Meera?
I'll challenge Meera.
Okay, so Meera, your time starts now. You're supposed to name at least 10 standard objects in 10 seconds.
Okay, so account, contact, lead, opportunity, case, contract, idea, Apex class, Apex page, approval process. Yeah, I think it's 10.
Okay, that is more than enough. And yes, you have answered all the 10 objects that you've committed to. And you have won this round. So you get 20 points and now you're leading. So I'm going to stop the timer, and the next question is I'm going to give the opportunity to Christophe. So Christophe, how many apps from the sample gallery can you name in 10 seconds?
8.
8, perfect. Okay, Meera, can you name more than 8 or do you want to challenge Christophe?
I would like to challenge Christophe.
Okay, so Christophe, you have been challenged and your time starts now.
Dreamhouse, Lightning Web Components recipes, Lightning Web Components recipes open source, e-bikes, e-cars, Redwood's insurance, Easy Space, Visualforce to Lightning Web Components recipes.
Okay, you've taken slightly longer, but I'm still going to give it to you because you were able to name all 8, which most of us can't do. So yes, I think you win this challenge and I'm going to give you 20 points as well. And that puts you back in the lead. Well done. Finally moving to the third round, which is called Lightning. And it's a rapid fire round where I'm going to ask each of you a bunch of questions. and you have to answer as many questions as you can in 25 seconds. And each correct answer gives you 10 points. Okay, so I'm going to start with Christophe, and let me start my timer as well. You have 25 seconds on the clock. Let's see how many questions you are able to answer correctly. And I'm going to start the timer. So Christophe, your time starts now. True or false, two users can have the same profile?
True.
Okay. What is the governor limit for the total number of DML statements in a transaction?
I don't know. 100.
Okay. Expand JSON.
JavaScript object notation.
Okay. The number of mountains in the new Trailhead logo?
Wow. 3.
It's actually in the old logo, it is 3. In the new logo, it's just 2. Okay, so final question, I think. Community Cloud has been renamed to?
Experience Cloud.
Okay, perfect. So you have gotten 3 questions correct in close to 25 seconds. And let's see how many Meera is able to do. So Meera, your time starts now. True or false, two users can have the same role?
True.
Okay, so what's the governor limit for the total number of SOQL queries in synchronous transactions?
100.
Okay. Expand PWA.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Which animal is cloudy?
Cloudy is goat.
Yep. And Einstein Analytics has been renamed to?
Tableau CRM.
Okay, so that wraps up even your round. So even you have answered 4 questions correctly. So that gives you 40 points, and Christophe has 30. Give me a second while I tally all of your points. So Christophe has done 30 plus 20 plus 30, which is 80. And Meera has done 20 plus 20 plus 40, which is again 80. Okay, so this is not scripted, by the way, all of you guys watching us today. This is actually a draw, which even I didn't anticipate. So congratulations, both of you. Both of you have won the first ever game show that we are conducting on Dev Talkies. And a huge round of applause. All of the audience, please clap as well.
Yeah.
Thank you, Aditya.
Yeah.
And congratulations, Meera.
Congratulations to you too.
So thank you. And that actually wraps up our game show segment. It's now time for a quick tip. Let's talk about Quiddity. It's a system-defined enum that tells you what triggered your Apex class to run. Here is a range of values it has. It tells us whether your code is invoked from an anonymous block, future method, and so on. If you notice, the values get quite granular as well. For example, in your Apex class, you often use the test.isRunningTest to determine if your class is invoked from a test class. But Quiddity also tells you whether those test classes are running synchronously, asynchronously, or during production deployment. And this makes it a great tool to control the flow of logic during runtime. Here is how you're going to use it. Until now, if you had to check if your class is being invoked from a test class, future method, or batch, you would use their equivalent system methods to put in checks like these. But now with Quiddity, you just need to call the getQuiddity method and use those granular values provided to put in better checks. So this code, for example, runs the logic only if it is called from quick actions or lightning components. The other example here uses Quiddity to determine if it is safe to run your query or some other logic that bypasses sharing roles. So what we are doing here is, if you are calling your code from batch Apex or queuable, we are bypassing the sharing roles. But if it is invoked from anywhere else like REST classes, Aura components, quick actions, we are enforcing the sharing rules. And this is one of the many use cases on how you can use Quiddity. To learn more, check out the Quiddity recipes folder in the Apex Recipes sample app.
Now that was a cool tip and a game show. Clearly, both of them were winners. I mean, the guests. Thank you so much, Aditya. If you want to access the technical content that was shared as part of the show today, please get into this trail mix using the bit.ly link and you'll find everything you want there. Hope you all enjoyed the first episode of Dev Talkies. But before I end, I would like to leave you with this thought. Around 80% of women in India drop out before their graduation. And around 250 million of them are employable but are not part of the workforce. As Gandhiji said, if you're educating a man, you're educating a person. But if you're educating a woman, you're educating the family and the entire society. This is a problem that our generation can solve. It's not a favor, but a responsibility that we have in our hands. So that being said, we'll be back with some amazing stories and awesome developer stuff in our second episode next month. Until then, stay safe, write code, and do good. This is Nakiran signing off with love.